Welcome to another Tuesday test. I'm Travis-Harrison, realtor with Woods Brothers here out of Lincoln, Nebraska, serving the southeast Lincoln, Nebraska area. We're going to dive into the Emerald from Mercury Builders. Just know that I love builders. I love new construction. There's a lot of decisions that go into designing a number of different homes. So every week, I just like to unpeel a different plan and look through how this would look for a potential Tuesday. Obviously, not every house is for everyone, but every house is for someone. So we're just going to dive right into it. But there's something about this floor plan I like before we ever get to the kitchen. For this one, it happens when you come home because that's where I want to start with this one. So if we go to the main floor, not at the front door, not at the primary suite, but right here in the garage, right here. Let's put a normal Tuesday inside this floor plan and see how it works. Say it's 5:20, you're pulling into the garage, you've got kids getting out, backpacks, shoes, probably 8 or more grocery bags because apparently none of us are willing to make more than one trip. Look at what the Mercury did here. You come through the garage and you've immediately got the drop zone. Then the pantry is right there, and then the kitchen. That's a pretty simple sequence. I love plans that flow like this today. But it's one of those things that matters more after you live in a house than it does when you're looking at the plan. Your backpack doesn't have to make it to the kitchen. My mom knows my homework never came out of my backpack. Your groceries never need a tour of the house. You're basically going garage, drop zone, pantry, kitchen. And I like that. This is something I want these Tuesday tests to show too. Not every test needs to uncover a problem. Sometimes you look at a floor plan and realize the builder put things together in a way that makes everyday life pretty straightforward. The grocery test. I think this one works. Now let's move about 10 feet further into this house because this is where it gets interesting. You got the kitchen here, the dining, great room over here, covered patio out back, potentially stairs down if it's on a walkout lot or right into the backyard. You got the garage and pantry behind us. And then we've got the bedrooms going in two different directions. I call this the intersection test. Every house has one. It's the spot where people naturally are crossing paths. And on a Tuesday, somewhere between 5:30 and 7:30, this part of the house is probably doing a lot. Someone's cooking, someone's at the island doing homework, someone needs something from the pantry, because heaven forbid we wait for dinner. Somebody wants outside, and another person, they're headed downstairs. So I'm looking at two things here. First, does the house give all of those activities somewhere to happen? I think it does. Second, are those routes fighting each other? It's very hard to answer from a floor plan alone, and that's important. A plan can tell me where people are likely to move, but it can't completely tell me what that space will feel like once it's built and finished. But I can at least identify the intersection before I ever walk through the house. And there's something I'd pay attention to. Now that everyone survived dinner, it's 10:30 at night, this is where I stop thinking about the kitchen and I start looking at the bedroom placement. The Mercury has two secondary bedrooms over here. The owner's suite over here on the other side of the house. It's what you call a standard split bedroom layout. And this is exactly where I don't think there's a universal right answer. If your kids are 2 and 4, you may look at this completely differently than someone whose kids are 12 and 15. If you got teenagers, you might be looking at this thinking, put them over here. If you've got a toddler getting up 3 times tonight, maybe you think about that distance differently. That's why I don't really want to grade bedroom separation as good or bad. The Tuesday test is whether this amount of separation fits the stage of life that you're actually in. Because the floor plan doesn't change, but the family living inside it completely changes how it feels. Which brings me downstairs. And this might be one of my favorite things to think about this particular plan. Look at the size of this family room. The plan shows roughly 26 feet by 26 feet. You've also got a wet bar, another bedroom, bathroom, and a huge amount of storage over here. But I'm not really interested in saying, look how big the basement is. I want you to run a 5-year test, because a house that works when your kids are 5 and 7 may have a completely different job when they're 10 and 12. Where do their friends go? Where does somebody watch a Husker game while somebody else wants the upstairs quiet? Where do overnight guests stay? Where does all that stuff go that somehow multiplies every year that you own a house? This lower level gives you another pretty substantial living zone. And that's something I think people should look for on a floor plan. It's not just, do I have enough space for today? But can I use this space differently later? Because sometimes the most useful room in a house isn't the one you need right now. So that's the one thing I'd think before choosing the Emerald. For me, it's actually not something I'd automatically change. I'd decide how I feel about that bedroom separation. The garage to pantry sequence makes sense to me. I like the relationship between kitchen, dining, and covered patio. And then you've got a lot of flexibility downstairs here. But bedroom separation, personal decision. Young kids, teenagers, guests, different sleep schedules. Those households can look at this exact same floor plan and come to a completely different conclusion. That's the conversation I'd have before building, not because the design is wrong, but because this is one of the decisions that depends heavily on who's going to live here. So, Tuesday score for Mercury Builders Emerald, daily flow, strong. I love that garage, drop zone, pantry, kitchen sequence. Family separation, strong for the household that wants it. Future flexibility, strong. That lower level gives this house somewhere to grow into rather than asking every activity to happen upstairs. And storage, good on paper, particularly with what they have laid out downstairs. Overall, there's quite a bit about this plan that makes sense to me. And that's probably the biggest takeaway from this Tuesday test. You can learn a surprising amount about a house before you ever stand inside it. Don't just count the bedrooms. Don't just look at the size of the kitchen. Start at the door you're actually going to use, not the front door. Where do you bring home the groceries? Drop the backpacks. The garage door. Focus on the kitchen. Where do you make dinner? Where does everyone go to bed? Now, jump ahead 5 years from now. Do it again. That's how I'd read this plan. Not asking whether it's a good floor plan or a bad floor plan. I think they make tremendous floor plan, tremendous built house. But asking whether the decisions they made here match the life that you are going to put inside of it. Because eventually, the model home feeling wears off and you're left with Tuesday. That's why I say buy for Tuesday.